Hello students, in the last video we have seen the summary of the lesson and also we have discussed about the writer of the lesson, the fun they had. I said that in this chapter the writer said this story in a future time, right? And in this chapter two main characters are there, Tommy and Margie, right? Margie was 11 years old and when she was just writing her diary, in that diary she mentioned a date that is 17th May 2157. It means that 150 years ahead than we people, right? So it means this story set in a future, this story set in the year 2157, right? The main theme of this story, I said yesterday in that lesson also, that education is the main theme of this lesson. Margie described in that diary the title of that only, Today Tommy had found a real book. When she just write a real book, she eagerly wanted to know more about the real book. That's why she started talking with communication with Tommy. Now, we'll see. I said this both children, Tommy and Margie, just opened that book and they saw that the pages of that book was very yellow and crinkly. It was very old book, right? And then after this girl, right, 11 years old girl, Margie, eagerly wanted to know more about this book. But Tommy already seen this book. So she asked many questions to Tommy and Tommy replied its answer. Now we'll see next. Gee, said Tommy, what a waste. When you are through with the book, you just threw it away, I guess. Our television screen must have a million books on it and it's good for plenty more. I would not throw it away. Now, Margie was asking questions to him. So see here, Tommy replied and he said, Gee, it's one kind of exclamation, disliking of something, right? So he disliked about the book, right? And he said this book is just a wastage of time. And he said you are through with the book, you just throw it away, I guess. It means that Tommy wanted to say to Margie that only once you completed its story, right, story from that real book, you cannot get many other stories from the same book. Here he said that once you completed its reading, you will not get any other story from the same book. After that you have to throw this book, right, he said. So here he said that you will throw that book after completing its reading. Then he said our television screen must have had a million books on it and it's good for plenty more. I would not throw it away. Now Tommy comparing this real book with his e-book. What he said that in our television screen, once we will finish, right, one story, then after next story will come. It means he said our television screen must have a million books on one particular screen, he said, and good for plenty more. For one by one we will get different stories, he said. So here he comparing this mechanical teacher with the real book, this e-book with a real book. In real book we will get one story only, but in e-book we will get different stories. So he said I would not throw it away because it will give me many other stories, he said this. Then see, Margie said, same with mine, said Margie. She was 11 and had not seen as many telebooks as Tommy had. He was 13. So Margie also agreed with him because she had also same mechanical teacher in her room, right? She was also getting many books in her television screen. So that's why she agreed with Tommy. She was, I said this before, right? She was 11 years old and Tommy was 13 years old. That's why whatever Tommy was telling her, she agreed with her because he was 2 years elder than her. So she had not seen many books, right, as Tommy. She said, where did you find it? Now, she wanted to know about that real book. So she is asking more questions to Tommy. And she said, where did you find it? From where you are getting this book? She asked this question to Tommy. In my house, he pointed without looking because he was busy in reading in the attic. Then he added, right? So when Margie asked the question to Tommy, the question was that only from where you have got this book. So without looking at her, Tommy replied that I got this book from my house. Then after he added what, I got this book from the attic. Attic means what? A space just below the roof. It means a storeroom where we are keeping meaningless and useless things. That is called attic. So Tommy replied that I got this book from the attic. See, next. Then Margie asked the next question. What's it about? Margie asked this question. So Tommy replied that this real book about school. Margie was scornful. School? What's there to write about school? I hate school. Margie always hated school, but now she hated it more than ever. Now, when Tommy replied that this book is about the school, so Margie was become very surprised. Who will write about this school? Because she hated this school. She hated her own mechanical school, and when she saw about the school in this real book, it means here she is describing more hate for that particular school. The mechanical teacher had been giving her test after test in geography, and she had been doing worse and worse until her mother had shaken her head sorrowfully and sent for the county inspector. Now what happened here? See, when she know that this book is about the school, she hated it more, because in her own mechanical teacher, in her own mechanical screen of the computer, geography sector had been giving her more and more tests, and she was performing her performance very worse. So here what happened, that's why she hate this school. She hate her own mechanical teacher also, and then after she hate this school about that school also. So here what happened, to show her performance, to show Margie's performance, her mother also become very sorrow about her, and she just thought that I have to call county inspector. County inspector means not any police inspector. County inspector means a person who is repairing any machine. So she thought that maybe in the machine some problems and mistakes happen there. So that's why her mother called that person who is repairing the machine. Right? Okay. Now see what happened next. That person came at her house. See how that person was. He was a round little man with a red face and whole box of tools with dials and wires. He smiled at her and gave her an apple and took a teacher apart. Now, what happened here? That person, that county inspector came at her house, and because that machine had some mistakes there, right? So he was a round little man. That county inspector was very little person, and he was very fat, and his face was red, and he came with the box of tools and wires. Every tools he also brought with him, right? Why he came here? To repair that machine. He smiled at her and gave her an apple, and then he just took that mechanical teacher one side to repair it, right? Okay, we'll stop it here.